everyone. This is the first episode of Maxxcell Talks where we speak to our IELTS students about their IELTS exam experience. We have started this series to give you exclusive insights into how the IELTS exam is really conducted. To kickstart this series, I am your host for today, Eloise Fernandez, and today we have with us Kimberly Dice, who's recently taken the IELTS exam in Goa. Hi Kimberly, it's so nice to have you here. So Kimberly, tell us, when did you take the IELTS exam?
So I taken the IELTS exam on the 8th of October. The module which I chose was the academics module.
What was the timing you were given?
The timing what I was given was the evening session, that is from 1 to 4.
Okay.
Yes,
this is speaking?
This is for this is for the writing, reading and listening.
Alright.
Yes, the speaking was I scheduled my speaking on the 3rd of October. That's
Okay.
few days before answering the other one.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I believe that since you said your speaking was a week earlier, around
right.
a week earlier. And which batch were you put in? The evening batch, I believe.
The speaking, actually, I was given a flexibility of timing. So the timing which I chose was the morning, that's 10 to 10:20. It's a 20-minute session for speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reading, writing, listening?
That was for the afternoon session. It's 1 to 4:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
So usually you have a choice between two sessions for the speaking where you get to choose your batch.
Yes. When it comes to speaking, we had the choice of choosing the timing. But when it came to writing and listening, we were given the evening session only.
Okay. So did you receive any prior instructions from IDP regarding your exam?
Yes, I did receive an email from IDP. So it gave me a lot of information like the venue, the timing, where exactly, how many minutes prior should I be on time. So it had given me an entire schedule regarding that day.
Okay. And where exactly were you scheduled to answer the exam?
I was scheduled to answer in South Goa.
I believe it was one of the resorts. That's it.
One of the results, yeah.
So now let's jump into the exam section and discuss that in a little detail. So like you mentioned that your speaking was before and then was your reading, writing, listening. So usually when it comes to your speaking exam, they say that the first part of speaking is usually about you. So what was the question asked by your examiner?
So basically it started with an introduction about myself, my hometown, where exactly do I stay. Just a basic introduction about myself. Also the apartment where I stay and detail about it, my hobbies related.
And the second section, they usually say you're given a cue card. So what were the details given to you in your cue card?
The topic for the cue card topic which I got was about a silent place.
And how did you go about answering this question?
So basically I was already trained in Maxxcell. I got the topic before, so I was well versed with my topic, what to answer. So it became much easier for me to
That's a great coincidence. That's nice. And did you face any difficulty managing time or any difficulty putting down your points on the cue card and then remembering how to go about point-wise while speaking?
Yeah, for me it was spontaneous because the training which I got in Maxxcell gave me enough of confidence to speak at that moment. So I could speak for, I feel, more than 2 minutes.
Okay. Now coming to the third part of your speaking, they say that it's a two-way discussion between two people. So what was the topic given to you and how did you manage this discussion?
Yeah, so the part 3 of my speaking was related to my cue card, which is about a quiet place. So it was more related to noise, frequency, traffic related, how to regulate noise, how do people react to noise, the older people. So it was a detailed sort of a discussion which I had, and which the examiner cross-questioned me a lot about it because he was trying to find out whether I could answer to those questions in detail as per his expectations.
Okay. As a whole, how would you describe your speaking test experience?
As a whole, I feel the exam was quite good because the examiner was really enthusiastic, waiting for the replies. So he would give us an opportunity to reply to our questions very well. So I had a very great experience.
Moving on to the other 3 sections of the exam, could you tell me which was the first section you answered that day?
The first section, what I began was the writing.
Okay. So in the writing section of the academic module, you're usually given an illustration. So could you tell us what the illustration was about that was given to you?
Yeah, for the academic module which I got, the illustration was about a tabular column describing about the number of students studying in the university with respect to subject-wise, it's English, Maths. So it was more of we had to give a detailed explanation about the percentage of students that were studying in these different subjects.
So the second task of your writing section is supposedly an essay in response to a statement or premise. So what was the topic that was allotted to you that day?
Yeah, the topic what I was given for the essay was mostly related to transport of food items nowadays, traveling through miles of distance from the consumer, from the farm to the consumer, and what my views on the topic.
Okay. It seems to be a pretty heavy topic, if you ask me.
Yes, for me, I actually found it to be a heavy topic because this was not a topic I would normally come across to
Yes.
my coaching classes. So it took me some time because I needed time to process myself about say 2 to 3 minutes. How would I break down the essay?
So do you think you, in the end, managed to, overcome that, have some creative ideas and put it down on your paper?
Yes, because initially I started with my essay compared to the part one task. So it gave me enough of time to manage myself,
Okay.
to focus more on the essay.
So overall, would you say that the writing was a good experience?
I would say it's an average experience for me because the topic was very tough.
Moving on to the next section, that is the listening section. So what was the sequence of your listening?
Yeah, so usually the listening is divided into 4 sections. So I found the initial first 2 sections to be quite easy and simplified because it was it's a two-way dialogue.
Okay.
The next I found was the diagram, which was a bit challenging for me because it's a very quick sequence. And there were also a lot of multiple choice, I would say, questions, which I found it to be a bit tricky for me.
Okay.
Coming to the last part, it's a section 4. It's a lengthy section, I would say, but I found it to be very easy.
Now, I'm usually a fan of the British accent. However, sometimes it's a little hard to comprehend for a lot of people, including me. So I wanted to know what exactly was the accent used for you in your listening exam?
I guess it was a British accent, I would say, because
Okay.
there were a lot of similar the words which were used by them, so I found it to be easier.
Okay, so do you think British English was easier for you to understand?
Yes, I feel you could relate to it because I was trained well enough for my coaching classes.
Okay.
That's Maxxcell. So I could find it easier for me to understand the listening.
Now we go on to the last but not the least section of the IELTS exam, the reading section. Now, over the years of experience that I've been in this industry, Kimberly, I've had a lot of people tell me that this is one of the sections that's a little difficult to crack. It's a hard nut to crack. So, would you agree to the statement?
Oh yes, I will say because the academic module is a little tough. It's very tough in terms of reading compared to the general module because the paragraphs are more in detail. It's big paragraphs which has to be broken down and understand the keywords. So I would say that the academic module of reading is very tough.
That's say common opinion that a lot of people have. That they say that the reading section is a little difficult. Even when they come here for classes, they say that they initially find it a little difficult and usually need more practice in the reading section. Now, going on to the questions asked you. So the reading test consists of 3 passages. So could you tell us, Kimberly, what was your first passage about?
Yeah, the first passage was mostly related to it's a scientific passage related to animals in different regions, different localities. So it was mostly connected to how the animal would adjust to different areas. So that was my the first part of the reading what I got.
Okay, and do you recollect what types of questions were asked?
The questions was mostly true or false, complete the sentence, and multiple choice, I would say.
Alright. And what was your second passage about?
The second passage was something which I got very similar to Maxxcell about Henry Perkin. It's mostly related to architecture, the sculpture. So it was a topic which I was very confident in answering. Questions was I would say similar. That's fill in the blanks, multiple choice.
Okay. Now the third section, they say that is a little difficult as compared to the other 2 sections. They say that the level of difficulty increases in the reading from the first passage, going to the second a little difficult, and then a little more tougher for the reading, third part of it. So could you tell us what was your third passage about?
Yeah, the third passage actually is supposed to be quite challenging even for me because it takes a lot of my time to understand the third part of the reading. So it took me quite a lot of time, say about 15 to 20 minutes to actually break it down and to find my answers. So I did it as I tried to find the key points. So that's how I could get about with my time.
What was the topic of the third passage?
The third passage was mostly related to mirrors, something related to mirrors and how one's perception is.
Okay. What were the questions that were asked there?
The questions again I would say was multiple choice. There were 4 options given and there was a question, and it's about completing a sentence.
How would you say you would rate your reading experience?
Yeah, I found the reading to be like average because the
Okay.
initial first 2 were quite easy for me.
Mhm.
The third one was a bit challenging. So it was an average experience in terms of reading.
Now we're done with all the sections of the exam. I would like to know, based on your personal experience giving the IELTS exam, do you have any tips for our aspirants, looking to answer the IELTS exam?
Yes, I would say that one needs a lot of practice because initially when I started taking the coaching classes, that's Maxxcell, I found it to be quite tough for me. But then gradually, as I kept up with my with the experience and practice, day-to-day practice. So as and when I got the time, it gave me enough of confidence, I would say. So practice is the key.
Those are some wonderful tips that you had to share with the aspirants. Like everybody usually says, practice is the key. I would also like to know, how was your experience training with Maxxcell?
So I found the experience to be very informative because first of all I didn't have any idea about how I would get through with the module of academics IELTS. Maxxcell gave me a lot of information when it comes to the matter, explanation. So I found it to be very useful.
Okay, thank you so much for your kind words, Kimberly. That's so sweet of you. And thank you for being here, making the time and coming here. We're really grateful for that. For all of you who don't know, Kimberly here is in the medical field. She usually has a very hectic schedule. So she's specially come here to, share her views on the exam so that you're a little aware about how the IELTS exam is conducted. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you for making the time, and we're very grateful to you. And all the best for your future.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, Eloise Fernandez, signing off for the day, and see you in the next episode.